I've been a physical therapist for 25 years. I've been an author and a writer for, I don't know, a long time. And so I am helping healers who really want to share and write their story. I've got 2 amazing clients right now whose books are going to be complete gifts to the world. I am so completely honored to be a part of those journeys. And I think that's really where I shine, is bringing people along their writing journey in a way that makes them feel fabulous and worthy and brave about those projects. Yeah, I'm good at lighting fires under people and finding somebody that you vibe with, that understands your message, that can help bring out your amazing, authentic voice. That's important. I've worked with coaches now in these last several years. So anybody who has watched my Brave Healing journey and understands what I've been doing with Brave Healer Productions, they've watched me in a process that was coached. Brave Healing, a guide for your journey, is they're calling these teaching memoirs because it's part personal story and part powerful tool. So I had been writing that for a long time, for probably a few years, when I started teaching a class called Writing as a Path to Healing. And inside of that workshop, I started to realize that I had a lot of people actually all over the world that couldn't attend that live workshop. And I wanted to give them a way to understand me and also to practice the tools I was teaching in my live workshop. So I started writing the book based on my journey of healing, and every other chapter, you're gonna get a pretty real story about my journey, followed by a chapter that's going to get you right into a guided body awareness and writing tool. You know, a lot of people just do not think they have anything to heal. And they're like, what do you mean? Like, I'm good, you know? And I would just start to ask questions, because it's really, you know, the best coaches ask questions that their clients have. The perspective has to change inside of that question. That process of questioning wakes you up. So when you get a question asked of you that you sit and you go, oh, wait a minute, what do I think or believe about that? And is that thought or belief actually serving my greater mission in the world? No, it's limiting me. Okay, now what? Now what am I going to think or believe, right? So somebody comes at me and says, you know, what, that healing thing is woo-woo. You know, like, what are you talking about healing? And I said, well, you know, how happy are you every day? Are you doing something that lights you up and turns you on every day? Does your life feel purposeful, like a calling? Like there's something behind you just pushing you a little? And it feels like that, like a physical momentum, like you can't quit even if you wanted to. And so they may listen to all those questions and go, I don't know, maybe not. Like, okay, and so if it's not a hell yes, then I'm gonna say, well, listen, there might be something in your life that you could heal, that you could improve, a mindset, a belief, a strategy for living that would make you feel fiercely alive inside of that life and really feel turned on and happy and motivated about who you are and what you do in the world. For the first time this year, I'm actually offering a guarantee. You can come into that workshop and listen to the first full 2-hour live session. And if it's not for you, I'll give you a refund. So that's what I'm offering right now. And I think that that's a fair guarantee offer, because once you get into the group and feel the energy and understand what I'm up to, I'll be surprised if you want to back out. I had a woman reach out to me on Facebook Messenger, and she had read a blog that I had written for, I believe it was Mind Body Green. And she reached out in the moment and said, listen, I'm really struggling. I'm the mom of 5 kids. I have been depressed. I loved your blog, and I was wondering if you could send me some more to read. So I don't always answer everyone on that business Facebook Messenger. Don't always see them, whatever. But for whatever reason, I saw it, clicked on it, and immediately responded, of course, yes, hang on a minute and I'll get you some stuff to read. But what I did was I went a step beyond that and I wrote a blog for her. I dedicated it to her anonymously, and it was about self-care. It was about all the things that we need to prioritize to fill ourselves back up so that we're serving not only as mothers, but entrepreneurs and all that stuff we do, serving from an overflow, right? So I put a call to action at the end of that blog that said, hey, audience, I know that you're moms and I know that you've been there and I know that you have some words for sure. Shirley is the gal's name and it's not a secret. So, and they did, they stepped up and they filled that blog with comments. And I think what happened, actually, I know what happened because I've been friends with Shirley for 3 years now. She felt hope for the first time ever. She felt not alone for the first time ever. She signed up for the beta workshop that I talked about earlier. She worked with me over that year's time and continues to work with me today. And she went on to write her first 2 blogs ever. The first one being a real vulnerable story about her depression. And the second blog was about just a call out to other mothers saying, hey, you're not alone, reach out. It's gonna be okay. Here are the tools I used to get me from there to here. Somebody who is in the pit that far has completely lost their ability to flip their switch to anything else. It's so dark in there and it feels so excruciatingly horrible that they just have the blinders on so tightly that they're not feeling any kind of love vibe anymore. They don't feel any connection. They don't feel any purpose for living. So somebody like me is going to coach you into your authentic voice and into the guy that's interviewing somebody on the podcast and knows what to say and where to laugh and like has the sense of humor and the personality, and all that is just writing like you talk. So I like to remind people that writing isn't about being fancy or too intelligent or too this or too that. It's about writing you, like you talk, how you make people laugh, how you motivate and inspire them, right? So you're a better writer than you think you are. And once you get out of the way of all those rules you think you need to follow, yeah, the magic happens there. You and your smile and your tiny, kind maneuver, whatever it is that day, can pop a blinder off or both. And then all of a sudden, this light pours into the person's world and they realize they're not alone. That's all it can take. All you need is that tiny spark sometimes, and that should alone be motivation enough for people to reach out to other people and just be human. The best thing to do if you want to write is write. So the best homework I ever got was write 750 words a day, no matter if you think you have something to write about or not. And that's like a page and a half typed, for inquiring minds. So when I started to do it and be accountable to the thing I said I wanted to do, what happened is I started to write to feng shui my soul. So the writing became this process of clearing. And the writing I did in that stage, nobody will read or will ever read, most likely. So back in 2015, I thought I had a book in me and I was starting to write it. And then NaNoWriMo came around. It's National Novel Writing Month of November, and it's a free program. And the goal is to write a 30,000 word novel in the end of 30 days. So I got all excited. I'm like, okay, this is going to be it. This will motivate me to write every day and get this book out of me. At the end of 30 days, I had a 65,000 word book written, detailing the wounds of my childhood, basically. And so what I realized later was that book was the feng shui that needed to happen for the real book to start to move through me.